Ahoj všichni. One of my viewers just wrote me to say, I'm moving to Prague from the US and I will work in a Czech firm. I don't want to offend my Czech colleagues with any cultural missteps. Can you tell me what Czechs are like in the workplace? Well, newbie, coming from an American corporate environment, you're probably not going to offend any Czechs, unless you ask them to work overtime. But they might offend you. So in today's video, I'm going to go into some of the strangest Czech workplace behavior so you know what to expect. Before we get into specifics, I have to say, congratulations. The Czech Republic is a great place to work if you care about work-life balance. In fact, the Czechs will say, nežijeme, abychom pracovali, ale pracujeme, abychom žili. Czechs get 4 weeks of paid vacation by law, and many companies offer more than that. And now that you'll be living in the heart of Europe, your biggest dilemma is which European vacation to take this month. A recent poll I just read showed that 50% of expat workers in Prague are entitled to home office whenever they want. One of my favorite things to do is take my laptop and work in one of this city's gorgeous cafes. Now, one thing is for sure, if you take your work on the road, whether it's to a coffee shop or a shared workspace, you're going to need to use a VPN to make sure that you're not exposing your company's private information to hackers. That's why I always recommend NordVPN, not only when I travel, but if I'm doing any work on my phone, tablet, or laptop. So here's what NordVPN does for me and why I never leave the home or office without it. It's a virtual private network that gives me safe and private access to the internet. By encrypting my connection, it hides my IP address and, most importantly, my online activity from spying eyes, and keeps my and my company's data safe from cybercriminals. Right now, NordVPN is offering a special deal for Dream Prague viewers. When you sign up for a 2-year plan, you get 4 extra months for free, plus a gift. If you live in a non-English speaking country, you get a 3-month coupon to share NordVPN with a friend or use for yourself. That's a whole lot of internet safety and security with just the click of a mouse. Sign up at the link in the description box below for this awesome deal. It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. And when you do, you help me support this channel so I can keep making more videos for you. So thank you. So, newbie, to answer your question, I polled several American expats who work here in Czech firms to find out what you should know about working with Czechs. And here's what I got. Not only do Czechs love home office, as they call remote work, but they also treat their offices a little bit like home. This means shoes off. Now, you might know that Czechs take off their shoes the minute they get home so as not to trek in the filth of the outside streets into their living space. But they also do this in the office, wearing house slippers or sometimes even going barefoot in open offices. Now, this is so strange to Americans because we feel like someone's feet are considered to be pretty gross and quite private. We don't want to show our toes to anybody. So to expose your feet or even your socks to people outside of your direct family, it's just too personal. It's kind of like showing up to the office in a bathrobe. Sanitary, yes. Strange, also yes. Almost everyone who responded said they couldn't get used to the constant open blowing of noses in Czech office spaces. I know in parts of Asia that blowing your nose is something you only do privately in the toilet. Wait till you get home. In America, blowing your nose is a little like passing gas. It has to be done, but we try not to do it repeatedly in an office full of people. Now, coming from corporate America, you're used to a certain way of communicating to your colleagues, and this will not apply at all in Prague. First of all, Americans are already thought of as fake and not saying what we mean because we're trying to be nice. So we've learned to read between the lines of what people say to interpret the real meaning. Your plan for the project is great. We really like it. but maybe you could change it, like maybe not entirely, but like completely. That would be awesome. Actual meaning, your plan is terrible and you must completely redo it. You will never have this misunderstanding in a Czech company. This idea of yours is terrible. You are very stupid for thinking it. Why would you say such stupid idea? What can I say? Czechs are brutally honest. My advice? File a hurt feelings report and learn to say what you really mean. One American said that Czechs invented quiet quitting. In fact, enthusiasm for work is mostly mocked in Czech offices. You have mental problem? Typically, a Czech will show up at 9 a.m. and then right around 11 a.m. break for lunch, which will never be at their desks, unless they, had a keg at their desk, which I would not be surprised about. Czech employees dine at a cafeteria or a restaurant for lunch, and it is completely normal to have alcohol at lunch. Now, I don't think this is quite the martini lunches of the Mad Men era, but definitely a half liter of beer is necessary. I mean, they have to recover from those 2 hours of work they just did, or didn't do. Most commenters said that Czech offices are pretty much empty after 5:30, and don't ever expect a Czech to work overtime. Now, one thing that Czechs are really enthusiastic about is after-work socializing. So this can be events like bowling, sports, and very often drinking events. The politics of a Czech workplace often extend past, kissing up to the boss. The person with the most power in the office is often the one who controls the AC. Central Europeans' complicated relationship with air conditioning is something I still don't understand. Of course, setting the right temperature in an office is a gripe that workers, even in America, have. But the Czechs add a layer of drama to this conflict. See, they believe that the AC makes you sick. Don't believe me? Most of them have just paused this video at this very moment to type in the comments, but AC does make you sick. Go ahead, have a look at the comments. So if you're a naturally hot person who needs to turn up the AC, your Czech coworker might not only accuse you of making them cold, but for giving them a flu that could kill them. Constant bickering over the AC was one of the top comments I got from expats here. But Czechs are notorious for complaining about everything. Even they will admit that complaining is a national pastime. And they will openly complain about you if they think you're doing a bad job. Or even if you're not. It's good to keep you on your toes. And often, nothing in the office gets fixed or changes unless they complain. So if you're moving to a Czech firm, remember, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I looked everywhere for the Czech equivalent to that idiom, but I couldn't find it, so if you know it, please put it in the comments below. Speaking of getting sick from the AC, Americans are expected in America to come to work unless they're basically dying. Like, if you're not in the hospital, you'd better be at your desk. But you will get no bonus points for coming to work sick in the Czech Republic. Czechs wouldn't dream of coming to work sick, and this isn't just about work-life balance, but about exposing your entire team to your germs. And with that, I have to agree. Czechs might be opposed to excessive air conditioning, but they are absolutely allergic to political correctness. So you can just leave your sensitivity training manual back at HR in New York. One commenter said that 90% of her office should have been sent to HR, fired, or at least canceled for the inappropriate things that just fall out of their mouths. But here's the thing. You cannot reason with Czechs about this. You can't say to them, maybe calling a woman in a meeting or, wearing blackface to a company costume party is not great in a corporate setting. They'll just come back at you like, you are so, woked. You're very woken. Or they'll say, it's true, or it's funny. It's like arguing with a 13-year-old boy. And you can definitely make the argument that American PC culture has gone too far and people are afraid to say anything. But for purposes of advice in the Czech workplace, my advice is this: just don't get offended. Write it all down and then start an anonymous YouTube channel and expose them. Here's the thing about clothing style in Prague. The women dress very well, elegant, stylish. The men dress like they just came from mushroom hunting and are on the way to fix a toilet. So unlike many American women who go outside in yoga pants and Uggs, Czech women always dress the part, except in the office, where they apparently dress like the part of an exotic dancer. So said many of my commenters. Apparently, it's not uncommon in an office setting for a younger woman to look like she's on her way to the nightclub. Stripper heels, very short skirts, crop tops, open area. Women in corporate America are trained to appear as boring and as asexual as possible, just like a man in heels. We want you to fear us for our ambition, not for our killer bodies. Now, to be fair, this is a bit of a generalization, and it might be a generational thing. So my friend who works at an ad agency in the US told me that her Gen Z assistant started showing up in crop tops with like a fully exposed belly, and the whole office was just like stunned. The difference between the American experience and the Czech experience is that the American HR told my friend not to say anything directly to her assistant in crop tops because it could be offensive to remark on someone's clothes. And then she, my friend, might get in trouble with HR for just mentioning it. In Czechia, no one is offended by a beautiful woman showing off the goods. It's one of the only reasons to come to the office at all. There were so many Czech office place quirks to talk about, so I couldn't fit them all into one video. So if you'd like me to make a sequel, or if you can think of something that I didn't mention, write it in the comments below. Uvidíme se příště. Ahoj!